Y'all ready?
Y'all ready for this?
4, 3. Okay, stop. Welcome back to Our 3 Cents, your favorite podcast on the internet. This is our 30th episode.
Woo woo! Big 3-0. Is this over the hill?
That's 50, Laura.
Damn it.
My name is Molly.
My name is Bailey.
My name is Laura. And her name is Luna.
You can't see that Luna. She just walked into frame.
I got a cat. I finally got a cat.
She did it.
The crazy cat lady finally got a cat.
Yep. I've been wanting a cat for over a year now. Since I moved to Atlanta, I've wanted a cat, but my parents have guilt-tripped me into not getting one. And I finally said, to hell with y'all, I'm going to get a cat.
You know
she
how you
told
get
that
around
to
your
her
parents?
I said that word for word to my parents.
Guilt-tripping you? You don't tell them
you
when you
secretly
do the thing
get a
they
cat.
don't want you to do.
Yeah, so of course they don't know I have a cat.
And they can't know, so don't tell them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I almost told my dad last night because he's like, what's new? And I was like, nothing. And then my mom was like, did you get yourself a Christmas tree? And like I thought she was hinting at something, and I was like, what? And she's like, you should get yourself a Christmas tree. That's what she meant. So she has no idea. Because I've been saying
I bet Luna would like a Christmas tree.
Yeah. I've been saying that I want a cat, and every time I do, they're like, no. I don't think it's a good idea.
Well, we'll show them.
Yeah.
I never bring it up again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait about a month or so and then announce that I've gotten a cat.
And that it's gone so well.
Exactly. But yeah, so what's up with y'all? Anything new?
My cat got stuck in a tree. My cats, plural, got stuck in a tree again. But it's fine. They came down. But it was very stressful while it was happening.
I'm still unemployed.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! My mom was like, it's been 2 months today. I was like, it hasn't.
Keeping told.
It hasn't.
That's not an anniversary we keep up with.
Thanks, ma'am.
You can
Do you also know when I first broke my bone?
I've never broken a bone. Don't even put the idea out in the world that I could have broken a bone.
Bailey has perfect bones.
I have
good
100%
calcium.
Oh wait, no, I have scoliosis, but I have never broken a bone.
You haven't broken a bone either, have you,
Nope.
Laura? I think we talked about that.
Nope.
Oh, I finally watched the Victoria's Secret fashion show last night.
What do you mean finally? It just came out.
It came out on Sunday night and I couldn't watch it.
Why not?
Because I don't have cable. And they weren't live streaming it in my area. I live in freaking Atlanta. Why are you not live streaming it in Atlanta?
Fashion capital of America.
They were live streaming it in Jackson. In freaking Jackson.
You should write to them. They aren't
So
having
dumb.
trouble in anything right now.
Mm-hmm.
So you should fill their time.
Right. But yeah, so I watched that last night and I can't remember where I was going with it.
Did you enjoy it?
I did enjoy it. It was
Who
very
did you
good.
put your face in?
Taylor Hill.
Okay, wait. Now, hang on. Not everyone listening to this podcast necessarily follows Molly on Instagram.
Don't even. We'll tweet it. All of them. We'll tweet all of them.
I don't think I ever liked it because I saw it,
Wow,
thought,
Bailey.
I hate this, and
You're
clicked
not
away.
You're not a loyal friend.
I was the first follower. First like.
This year I have. I usually get like around 100 likes.
Okay, brag much.
And a lot of people and a lot of comments. Of course, there's people who can't stand it, and they'll need to let me know as if it's going to stop me. I do it every single year.
How many times is this?
Again, we still haven't said what Molly's done. Like,
We're not going to say it.
Okay.
This is probably my 4th year doing it. I think I started doing it my sophomore year in college.
Late in the
Sophomore,
game.
So we only missed 1 year.
Or maybe it's my 3rd year. I don't know, but my mom told me that this year was my best.
It was. I think so, too.
That must be why I disliked it the most, is what I was about to say. Because that one, just something about it stood out more to me to say, no.
And a lot of people thought it was actually me. Like,
Maybe it's because it looks
Okay,
I
well,
showed
I'm
it to
not
one of
gonna
my
go that far.
friends.
It looks very good,
I think it's the most realistic one you've done so
Yeah.
far.
but I don't think it looks like you.
Well, I picked somebody who doesn't have boobs or an ass, so it worked out in my favor.
I just thought it was because she had brown hair.
That too, which kind of sucks because I loved some of the other models with blonde hair that they had really pretty outfits on, and I wanted
Yeah.
to put my face on theirs, but I was like, I'm not blonde, so it doesn't really work, or it's not as realistic.
I wish
I
you
did-
would tag them.
I think I did. Well, my
Or, like-
profile's private, so they would never see it anyway.
Well, no, I wish you would I just for literally.
Uh-huh.
I need
for
I wanna,
our purposes.
I want to find it, and I wish there was a way that I could find all of them quickly.
I know, that's what I'm trying to find last year's. These pictures that we're talking about are just like
Do you want to know a fun thing I just realized?
pure filtered Molly. What?
Did we live together? 2015.
Yeah.
This is my skirt.
That's funny.
Yeah,
That's
I
what you
had
just
to,
realized?
Mhm.
Okay.
I remember that year. So yeah, I think 2015 was my first year doing it. Somebody gave me the idea. Oh wait, no,
Okay, well I saw
2014.
that one then.
I did 2014 too.
Gosh. Yeah, this one's really funny because the angle of your face doesn't really work with
Not at
like the
all.
outline you have.
Which one?
Your one from 2017.
Oh yeah, that was the one that I was talking about too. Yeah, it doesn't look very good.
You know what's fun?
What?
As we scroll through Molly's Instagram, how basic she has always been.
Mm-hmm. That's what it's like pure, like filtered down Molly into her essence.
It's very nice.
Really, once I got out of my sorority, I became really basic.
Which is,
There's like a
backwards.
joke about irony there.
I
or
know.
something.
Hey, look! It's me!
Oh, that didn't look like Molly. Is that Molly?
That's Molly. Look at how good I looked. Wow. Wow. I
Let's-
need to stop looking in the past.
One Direction, 5 Seconds of Summer, All Time Low, Once Upon a Time, and Love Actually just as much as me. So, hashtag blessed, we got to become friends this semester. Love you. Gosh, that didn't look like Molly from
Remember
for a
me and
second,
Molly
from a
in camo?
distance. Oh, I will always remember you and Molly in
That was the
camo.
only date party I went to. I don't know why.
I literally
I-
walked up to Molly and
Mhm.
insert name here, and was just like, "Hi, we're friends now."
Okay. If no one else has any stories, unless Molly wants to tell that story from her Twitter about her and the bad water, because I thought that was really funny.
Oh yeah. So Atlanta had a boil water advisory starting yesterday morning, and I don't normally. I always drink filtered water, but yesterday I happened to drink out of the faucet because my cat drank out of my water cup, and I needed to take my medicine, so I had to have water. So I just took some from the sink and drank it really quick. And then my boss, when I got to work, was like, "Oh, by the way, we're on a boil water advisory," and I was like, "Oh, well, good thing I only drink filtered water." And so I tweeted this, and
Which was a funny tweet. When I saw it, I was like, haha.
Very good.
and Bailey, being Bailey, decided to research it and discovered that filtered water does not protect you from a boil water advisory.
Because I didn't really realize that either, but when I read it, I thought, wait a minute. So I had to look it up, and then I, of course, had to tell you that you were making bad choices.
Of course.
Which you continue to make, even though you were well informed today.
I didn't have time to boil water and wash my dishes out.
But she has
Then
time
don't wash
to
your
die.
dishes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yesterday my stomach did hurt, so I wonder if it was from me drinking bad water or not. But
There will be
Or
no
if it was just all in your
no
head.
way to tell me that it's not.
the
Why
ban
are you
has
still
been
going through her
lifted,
Instagram?
so I can drink my water
okay.
as I please. Oh, my cat got cat hair all over the bed.
That's how cats
That's
work.
what they do, yeah.
But yeah, that's thankfully the water advisory came off. So
Oh, good. I don't think you told us that.
She just did.
okay, are we done?
Mhm.
Cool.
So, I'm done.
So, last week we got a comment on our YouTube?
Yes.
Our YouTube.
It was our latest episode uploaded on YouTube, and the question is from...
Okay, so Megs B.
It's from Megs B.
Commented on our YouTube, and the comments it says from a week ago. So what episode was it? Was it the week before last?
Yeah, it was probably from 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Because I probably saw it when I was uploading last week, so yeah, 2 weeks ago I asked.
But yeah, she said research the Flat Earth Society.
Well, she said please.
Please. So naturally, I did not, but
we did.
It looked like they
Some
did
of us
more.
And by the way, she did just say the Flat Earth, like not the society. Like I didn't look at them.
I know a little bit.
I did go to their website.
I know a funny thing about them.
Okay. Should we start off with what is the Flat Earth theory?
Yes.
Because, I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory.
Some people don't dive into that, so...
Okay, the Flat Earth is the theory that the Earth is flat.
Where
flat,
did it come about?
like a plane,
a disc.
Not a sphere. There are different, like, arguments whether it's a plane, like a flat, like littered, like a piece of paper, or if it's like a box, essentially.
When you say a box, do you mean...
Like, it's like 3D and
like
has, like,
square?
sides,
okay.
Or if it's just flat.
Okay. Because when there was, like... people who had discs, and the discs obviously had a little thickness.
Sorry. Like,
so I didn't know if that's what you meant. Yeah.
Disc, like, but the thickness of a piece of paper, or, like, a disc that also has sides.
Yeah. Like a thin cylinder.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. It's bad. I'm gonna come out and say it right now. It's bad.
Spoiler alert, we don't believe in flat earth theory, but
Well, I don't know. Let's go around the room, because if anybody's going to, it's gonna be either you or Molly. No offense.
I have a stance on flat earth theory that I was gonna share.
Okay.
I said I wasn't opposed to the idea.
So there's theories in this world that I wholeheartedly believe in. Like pro-ghost.
Right.
Pro-alien.
Pro-ghost.
There's different things that I am for. Bush to 9/11.
No,
There's certain things that
we are not all
specify. Can we specify that the Bush administration did 9/11? That the sweet baby angel he is could not have fathomed that. In his gentle, simple mind.
I was gonna say I don't know if his mind's
simple.
Yeah, I don't know if it's gentle, but definitely
simple mind. Anyways. Flat Earth, if it's true, I will back 110%. Like, if science comes out that says it's true...
Well, at that point, we'll know. Everybody
switching.
will.
Well, there's science about climate change, Bailey. What are you saying? People don't believe in climate change.
True.
The president of our country doesn't believe in climate change.
So what you're saying is the evidence they have now is just too circumstantial, not enough, like, real research.
It's just kind of, at this point, it's just, like... funny and like no one takes it seriously and there's not really much like the evidence that
I think a lot of people take it seriously.
I
was watching like flat earth conventions on ABC News.
We're about to see that there's like all of this evidence, but like if you go on the opposition, all of the evidence is disproven by science rather easily. So it's like, no, I don't believe it now, but the day that legitimate sourced research comes out, watch me get it with some flat earth shit. Because, if this is real, that's like, that's like the big one.
Do you think we went to the moon? Sam, your wife doesn't think that we went to the moon.
I never said that. No, I think that we went.
Do you think we're all in a simulation?
Ooh, me and Sam talked about that's a whole other thing.
Okay, sorry.
Yes, I do.
Sorry. Flat Earth. Okay. To explain this, somebody just go against me. The Earth is round.
No, it's flat.
Nuh-uh. The astronauts have pictures of it.
That was fake.
Why is it fake?
It was all in a studio in Hollywood. There was lights and shadows and...
Oh, wait, that's the moon.
That's space. The moon is in space.
No, I know, but the thing about the shadows and the flag and stuff, you know, they say the moon.
Yeah.
And yes. Anyway, okay. What about the curve of the Earth? The Earth is curved. You can see it.
When I look out of my window on a 100-story building, I cannot see Russia. Therefore, the Earth. Oh wait, no.
I was gonna say if you could see it. You're arguing that because you can't see the curve.
Oh, when I am standing
Mm-hmm.
in my room in a 100-story building,
Mm-hmm.
I can't see the curve of Earth. It's flat. The horizon is flat.
And that's how I first found out about it. I knew it was some celebrity, but I couldn't remember who it was. In my research now, I think it was B.O.B.
Yeah.
Who like posted an Instagram photo or something on Twitter who was like, look at these cities, they're far apart and you can't see the curve. Where is it?
Oh, yeah.
And people were just like, you're not high enough. And the cities are too
You're
close
not
together.
High enough. Okay, yes. Yeah, that whole thing is like different. Like, so there's Stone Mountain in Atlanta, and there's like the Space Needle in Seattle. And like, if you go to a big city and you get really high, and you look out, it's like you can see so many things from miles and miles away, but in between them, you don't see a
curve,
an obvious curvature of the land that you're looking at. And like, there's people who have done like, I've gone up in a plane to 10,000 feet and I look out and I can see all these things, but you're not seeing an obvious curve.
Yeah, I've noticed that whenever I fly.
Yeah, well, that argument. That
brings me to one of the points I wanted to pull up on the Flat Earth Society's website. I forgot about this other tab I had open. I'm so excited for that one. I
love their logo. The Flat Earth Society has really nice branding.
So this is on like their frequently asked questions, and the question is, as a passenger on an aircraft, how is it I can see the curvature of the Earth? And they said quite simply, you cannot. And they go on to say that like you would need to be at a certain height to see the curvature, and commercial aircraft aren't allowed to go that high, plus your windows are too small. I'm like, that's not disproving that there's a curve. You're explaining why we can't see the curve in a
you're
plane.
Saying
like,
if
you're
you
not
can
helping
get up
yourself.
there that high,
yeah.
you can see it.
And you had a big window. Like, you're not disproving it. You're just saying, oh, no, you didn't see that in a plane.
You can't see that in a plane, dumb, tiny plane flyer.
Like, okay, but Laura, if the Earth is flat, how come people don't fall off of it?
There's a, what is it?
Do you know the reason?
Around?
The ice! Yeah. They think there's an ice wall!
There are walls made of ice. So no one's ever gone to Antarctica.
That's what Antarctica is. It's all
no
around
one's
the
ever
Earth.
gone to the North Pole, all the way into the North Pole.
Uh-huh.
You have such small... There's a reason that nobody can survive and live on the North Pole or in Antarctica, because there are ice walls that are stories and stories and stories and stories tall of just thick ass ice, and we can't get through them. And if we did, we would fall off our plane of existence.
And what I read was in like the 60s, like
all those penguins falling off every day.
Yes, the UN was like, they made an agreement about like you can't really visit Antarctica because they're trying to hide the walls from us, apparently.
So that's real. Like, the UN and different organizations around the world came together and were like, we're keeping certain things...
Neutral?
Yeah, but neutral, but like also like don't... exploit them. Like, and there's not really much to exploit in Antarctica. I think we could learn stuff from it. Like, the environment's interesting because it's the same as like a desert...
but
nothing grows type of thing. But so they were like, no country can own it. You're not gonna be able to like exploit it. And flat earthers, like you were saying, think that that's like this big conspiracy theory, which like the same people are doing the same thing at Area 51.
Okay.
So that has some girth to it. What are they hiding? What are they hiding?
Here's my thing.
There are aliens there too. Why would we put aliens in the middle of the what is the
You're
west
getting
and
us off
southwest.
topic, Laura. We're talking about flat Earth, not aliens, not the moon landing. Flat
They're all
Earth.
connected, Molly.
All connected. What do you think this is about?
You have to not
Flat
trust your
Earth.
government to really believe.
Oh my god. So far in my ear.
My thing about the ice wall is we could fly over it. No one just does.
Yeah.
But you can't say that I couldn't just because you haven't. And that's, I feel like, a lot of flat earth things is like, oh, well, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
So it's not true.
Well, there's a lot of things that, like, a lot of people haven't seen.
Mhm.
No one, besides the small amount of astronauts and engineers and people like that, have gone to the moon.
Mhm.
So nobody,
well,
in the grand scheme of things, has seen.
no one's gone to the moon.
There's a couple people that have.
No, nobody's
okay.
gone to
So
the moon.
you're
Yeah,
on
I
my
was
side now.
kidding. Yeah. No, I'm just joking.
But, like, in the grand scheme of things, nobody's really gone to the moon.
Right.
Nobody's really gone to Antarctica.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's gone to the points
Mm-hmm.
enough that, like, and nobody probably thought we cared.
Mm-hmm.
Like, anybody who's gone to Antarctica and did research,
Mm-hmm.
like, didn't bring much back because no
Mhm.
one gives a shit. And
Mhm.
now it's like, but y'all, I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. It's just lots of cold.
Yes. Now this is where in the BuzzFeed Explained video where I was trying to learn about the theory.
Didn't he have pancakes? Or didn't he have, like, a thing?
He had like a plate thing. And he got to the point about gravity. How does gravity work if the Earth is flat? Do you know how that gravity works if the Earth is flat? Do you know how gravity works if the Earth is flat?
Isn't it just, like, weighing on us more?
Well, what they were saying, one, there's something about magnets in the center, and that's where he lost me, was with the magnets.
Yeah, I was
Well,
like,
the
why would it
pole-
matter? Why would gravity matter if the Earth was flat?
Well, because
Do you
our
want to fly off?
currently...
No, I mean, like, how does it change?
So in the current universe we live in, and what is acceptable in science is that the
In round
poles-
world.
in roundies, as they're
Roundies.
called in the flat Earth,
Round earthers.
Roundies?
roundies.
Wow.
Wait, is that real or did you just make
No,
that up?
that's real. That's
Oh
what they call
gosh,
us.
okay. Us roundies.
Us roundies. Right now, the Earth is tilted and has the magnetic
Axes.
fields
Mhm.
at the poles.
Mhm.
So Antarctica, somewhere in Antarctica and the North Pole have
Mhm.
magnets, and that's what controls monsoons and the moon and everything. Blah blah blah.
Mhm.
And
And then our
our-
gravity is like the center.
like when you hear center of gravity,
Yeah.
that's like everything's pushing on you from those two entities.
So
Try
it's
to
like-
explain gravity. I don't know anything about gravity.
It's like, why don't people fall off of Australia? Because gravity doesn't pull down, it pulls you toward the center of the Earth.
So like you're
Gotcha.
being pulled towards our core, which is also magnetized. So the poles towards each other
Right.
because they
Mhm.
pull towards each other. So on a flat thing,
Mm-hmm.
when there is no like, we would all be coming into the core,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not how that plane works.
Right. There's something about a magnet, and then we're flying into space at the speed of gravity, is what the flat Earth says.
Isn't it like
we're just
being...
we're just like constantly moving upwards,
Yeah,
is what the thing is.
but as a whole, not personally, right?
you mean like
Like flat Earth,
Earth?
is constantly moving.
yes, the
Not
whole Earth
people.
is right.
In our
We're not flying off.
in the roundies world, we're constantly being like, we are influenced by gravity of Earth. In flat Earth society, it's like Earth is affected by gravity.
Yes. Also in the Flat Earth Society, I don't know if y'all knew this, the moon and the sun are like above us,
And aren't
and they
the
rotate.
right size.
Yeah, and we, I think, are the center.
We're the
Of-
center of the universe,
Uh-huh.
of our universe, but I think it's the universe. I don't think there is other universes. And also
As
the
far as we know.
moon, the moon, right? The moon is like 4 or 4. It's literally 4 or 40 times the sun's size, and
Oh
the
gosh, I didn't
sun
get that
is
part.
very small.
I did get the sun was smaller than
Well,
it's supposed to be.
when the solar eclipse happened
Mm-hmm.
last year in
year.
August, everybody was asking about this. Like that was a thing in the flat Earth,
Mhm.
whatever. And they said that the reason that the moon can cover up the Earth is because, like, they were like, now you all see the moon is so much bigger than the sun because it covers it up.
Gosh.
And now we all know that we are the center of the world because look at how well it lines up. Would it actually line up that well if this was just all by, like, happenstance? So, moon is, like, real fucking big. Sun is, like...
tiny.
Sun is, like, smaller than Earth.
Big moon, tiny sun.
Big mood.
Big mood. So, my question is, are all the planets rising?
I saw that.
With it? Like, are we all going just... Whoop?
So after what I have to say about the Flat Earth Society, there was, like, a resurgence of, like, memes on Twitter that I was seeing, in that thread specifically. And it was this meme of, like, all the planets flat. And it just looked so stupid. It was so funny. Like, it was just, like, our solar system and then a bunch of, like, CDs going around each other. It was great. A+ work.
Well, okay, so one of my things about, was about the eclipse. So the way real eclipses work, in case you don't know, is when the sun, the moon, and Earth all get in a line with each other. And one of those things is blocking the other. So if we're flat, like a plate, and the sun and the moon are just in the sky above the plate, how are we blocking them out? How can we get an eclipse? Let me direct you to the page called The Lunar Eclipse at the Flat Earth Society. Here's what it says. Here's paragraph 1. It's just one sentence. A lunar eclipse... Don't read ahead, Laura.
Sorry.
A lunar eclipse occurs about twice a year when a satellite of the sun passes between the sun and the moon. Yes, that's us. We're the satellite. Not in Flat Earth Society. This satellite is called the shadow object.
Wait, this is what you're talking about?
Yeah!
Oh, yeah.
The shadow object!
My god.
Its orbital plane is tilted, blah, 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 blah. Making eclipses possible only when the three bodies, sun, object, and moon, are aligned, and when the moon is crossing the sun's orbital plane.
Object.
Are you done? No.
The shadow object!
So, earlier today, as I was looking different things up, because I knew there was something about the solar eclipse, I found a whole article explaining, like, phases of the moon, and, like, solar flares, and, like, all of these things. And there was a whole article explaining the interworkings of the hologram system that the government that rules over, like our government is, like, the Illuminati, but for governments. Like, this whole world government, like, intricate details about hologram system that when we need... Like, their actual wording was so stupid. It was like, spice up the sky. We would, like...
What we want to show.
We would, like, project, like, the moon's in a waning stage now, so we gotta project that, because the thing that they...
Is that what the Aurora Borealis is?
The thing that they have up there doesn't change, because it took so much to get it up there.
Gosh.
And it's just like, this is intricate. We have holograms that project...
But
I do like the shadow.
The shadow object? It just reminded me of, I finished watching The Office again this week for the 4th time.
I finished Parks and Rec for the 4th time this week.
I saw that tweet.
I had so much fun with your TV.
We did.
I'm so glad for you.
Hashtag Laura doesn't really have TV.
I got to watch Law and Order SVU for 3 hours last night.
Oh, good for you.
It was nice.
But in the last episode, spoiler alert, if you haven't finished The Office yet, Kevin gets fired. And the new accountant goes to Dwight, who's now the manager, and is like, I keep seeing this symbol in all the, like, accounting books. I don't understand what this means. Or maybe I think it's Oscar she's telling. And he's like, that was Kevin's magic symbol that he used to make the books add up. When the numbers didn't work, he would add a Clevin is what he called.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like the shadow object is. Like, there's nothing like, oh, the sun and moon and eclipses don't work in our universe. Well, there's a shadow object up there, and we don't know what it is, but we know it's there.
There's a couple arguments.
We haven't seen it.
There's some arguments in Flat Earth that are like, it makes you think. It's like, oh, wait. That's an interesting point. And, like, there's some things that can't be solved by science or, like, can't be directly, like, sure, that could work, but, like, that's not a perfect fit. And so there's, like, these things that are just, like, make you think. And then there's other things like that are, like, okay, we've got you. Like, your theory doesn't work.
The shadow object and the ice wall are...
And then they, like, put those out, and it's like, what you should have done is just said, oh, I think we're wrong. And there's a different, like... I don't know. Like, I'm also trying to edit a irrational theory about our Earth being a flat plane.
Well, that's the thing. It's typically not from, like, astrophysicists who know the science to explain it.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason why, even if we're in a tall city, we can't see the horizon line.
Yeah, there's things in regular science that we can't explain.
Yeah.
Like, people don't understand string theory, and they don't understand some of Einstein's equations. And there's things that we don't understand in science, like in true science.
Right.
And we're accepting of that and just let it go. Hello!
Stop it.
She does have a mustache color.
Hi, she's so cute. Luna was saying hello. Anyways. But they have to explain everything away, and it just doesn't. It makes them sound less.
Wait, what are the things that you think are solid proof that, like, people can't really argue against?
The one from Shane Dawson's video, his brother stuff was really good.
See, he started losing me.
Well, Shane does that.
What did he say exactly? I can't remember.
Shane's brother had a lot of, like, biblical and, like...
I remember the thing he referenced from the Bible
like,
was...
references from, like...
Yeah.
Uncrossing literature from different points in history that cited, like, their scientific proof of a flat Earth and, like, allusions to in, like, biblical times and old Asia and English, but, like, like, during the Renaissance and things, like, all these Enlightenment periods where it was, like, they all of a sudden now believe that there's a flat Earth, and then different people came along and said it was round, and... Yeah.
He did, like, literally start with, though, like, you can't trust the government, you can't, like, you have to not trust the government and not trust NASA to, like, start believing these things.
Half of Shane's video was his brother talking about how, LSD and psychotic drugs.
Gosh! Yes! Okay.
Yeah.
He had definitely lost me by then when he was like, everyone who takes LSD here's like, we're glad you find this technology. And Shane was like, what? That's mind-blowing. I'm like, that's not real, doll. That doesn't really happen. Your brother did not just tell you the truth.
And if he did, he's lying.
He's lying to you. But... Okay, there's a thing about people are like, we have photographs of the Earth, but they all have to be photographed together, which NASA people are like, it is true. Technically, we have to get, like, satellites to go around it, and they're so close to the Earth, they can't see it all at once. So when they go around, they then just, like, put it together.
Yeah, like, the BuzzFeed guy was like, because when you see, like, a globe, or like, and it's, like, flattened out, or you see, like, any of, like, NASA's pictures or any satellite images, because we haven't sent a satellite far enough up, it's like, okay, well, why don't we just send a satellite far enough up? We have one on, like, Mars.
Yeah.
Like, why
like,
didn't
Mars
that one just
us.
turn around, take a picture, and keep going on his way?
But people are like that, you're like, okay, so we don't have any quote-unquote real pictures of
like,
the whole Earth.
That's a real thing. We don't have any...
And then...
Because NASA lost all of their images from the...
NASA did say that they have lost all recordings of the moon landing.
Yeah. Like,
you're selling me on this. I'm beginning to believe the Earth is flat.
Well, no, that's the moon landing. You can believe the moon landing was fake. I'm just kidding.
We need to
Sam,
go over that.
Sam, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
We need to go over that.
I know, I was gonna say, that'll have to be a new episode.
But, like, yeah, so, like, NASA, back on, like, you're trying to prove that Earth is
Mm-hmm.
not flat, but you cannot prove it. A
Mhm.
institution that's been
Mhm.
around generations
Mhm.
and has some of the like most secretive,
Mhm.
most well protected. And like in one of the videos I watched, it was like you have this from like the 70s that's not
Yeah.
important at all,
Mhm.
but the one thing that America had
Mhm.
over Russia, which at that point was like, we need this to
Mhm.
remain a superpower type of thing. We
Space
don't
race.
have that.
Mhm.
You just lost it. Who was in charge, and was he fired?
Yeah. So it's a lot about trusting your own observations and not other people. So like we never see the horizon line curve. I saw someone on Mount Everest be like, "You just got to go up here." I'm like, "Okay."
Thank you. I'm not gonna do that.
So like that and the pictures is where I'm like, okay, if you're not like that, I buy that. I don't, but like you're trusting your own observations. Then where's the shadow object? I don't observe the shadow object. Where is it? Where is it, Laura?
You saw the lunar eclipse a couple years ago.
Where was the shadow object?
I don't understand the science behind the shadow object.
I think it's just there's something else up there, and that's what makes the eclipses.
He hides until he's needed.
No.
He knows
Wait,
his
the
place.
lunar eclipse? I thought the moon gets in front of the sun.
No, that's a solar eclipse.
I always confuse them.
So a lunar eclipse is when the moon, Luna, is being eclipsed by something.
Uh-huh.
Oh, right.
It's not when the moon eclipses something.
No, that's a different eclipse.
Okay. That's why I always confuse
But in my
them.
head now, I really don't know
Yeah.
how the sun gets or the moon gets eclipsed because we can't have the sun in front of the moon. That's not how. That's not how.
No,
it
the
works.
moon gets in front of the sun, and that's a solar.
What's
eclipse.
a lunar eclipse?
Oh, it's like when I think it's when we
The
cast
shadow
a
object?
shadow. The shadow object. But that's not like
You're selling me on the shadow object at this point because I don't understand.
I can.
Oh, it's because when we're directly in front of the sun.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
No, that's not. But okay.
When,
I had to get there by myself.
Okay, I can see the sun. I can see the moon. I cannot see the shadow object. And Flat Earth Society, you're telling me to trust my own eyes. How am I supposed to believe the shadow object?
Because you don't see it. That's the thing. The shadow object is the black thing that's going over the moon. You can't see it. So it is a shadow object. Like, you don't know what it is. It's just a shadow that goes over the moon.
But that's just a shadow.
Maybe it's always behind us.
It's always behind us.
Over there.
When you look around, it moves.
It's like your shadow.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, in Roundy World or whatever.
Roundy World.
Is our world roly-poly-oly?
Yes.
In a lunar eclipse, we watch the Earth cover the moon. That is the shadow. And
yeah, that's our shadow. I know where that comes from.
But we, as roundies, know that. Like, we're taught that is our shadow going across the moon.
So you're saying the shadow object isn't really an object, it's just a shadow.
Yes. Well, no. In the Flat Earth Society, they don't know what it is. Like, so they're just calling it a shadow object.
Yeah, but where is it? Why can't I see it?
So Flat Earth, I don't know if you technically understand that in Flat Earth Society, instead of us being about facing, we're flat, so we're always on this plane, and the sun and moon, instead of going around like this, go around like this.
Yeah.
So they're always seen.
So it's just random object.
There should be something else in the sky, unless
right. That's what I'm
saying.
We should be able to see the shadow object.
Oh, okay.
If it exists, but we can't. And if you're telling me to trust my own eyes, Flat Earth Society.
What if the shadow object only comes around for the lunar eclipse?
But then why couldn't I still see it?
Because it only comes around for the lunar eclipse. It's not.
But in a lunar eclipse, why can't I see it?
It's not visible to.
It just takes the form of the shadow.
Yeah, it's dark. It's dark outside. You can't see anything whenever it's dark out.
Like, so in a roundy world lunar eclipse, the only reason you know that it's a shadow is because you've been taught.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're saying is moon, sun, Moon.
Did you just forget what the sun was
You
called?
are the sun,
No,
Laura.
I am the sun.
Oh, okay.
You are the
Because
sun.
I line up.
Okay.
Moon, sun, Earth. So as you're like entering,
Uh-huh.
we're blocking the sun
Mhm.
from the moon.
But
so
how-
we cast our shadow. So in Flat Earther world,
Uh-huh.
oh god, in our little plane,
Uh-huh.
when they're going around,
Uh-huh.
they're saying that something else comes up
And gets in between.
us and the moon.
And
I
the
wouldn't be
sun go
surprised if
bye-bye.
this thing was just hiding behind the moon
And just peeks its head around and
Exactly,
says, "You
yeah.
ready?"
What if it's
Okay,
Because I'm
something-
ready.
So,
What if it's
what about
something
solar
orbiting
eclipses
the
then?
moon that comes around as the lunar eclipse, and then
Solar eclipses is just the moon in front of the sun.
Right, but if
so
they're
moon's already
if
there.
they're both like up here like this above us, is one of them like lower than the other, like closer?
Yeah, the moon's closer, but it's also super big compared to the sun. So the sun's just running around, teensy tiny, and the moon's there.
So there's also a really big shadow object in space that we just haven't detected, or no one's told us that we've detected.
Jizz.
Okay.
Jizz. I mean, what like if you were a third grader and somebody in your science class, your third grade teacher during science time said, "There's another orb in space. It covers the moon sometimes. The moon covers the sun sometimes. Why can't this other orb?"
Because we're the other orb.
What if you never have heard that?
I still don't think I'd believe in the shadow object.
Okay, well, if there was a better name.
Yeah, maybe if it wasn't called the shadow object. I just think they're oh, that's not the page I needed. That's not what I needed to happen. They're talking about my own observation, but I've never seen the ice wall, and I'm just supposed to believe it's there.
Yeah, no, your argument's valid.
Because I'm not allowed to go.
Yeah.
And they're
because
saying there's a shadow object and I can't see it.
There are plot holes.
There's potholes too.
In the flat earth theory because they say things like that when you're talking about, like, the big thing Bailey's having trouble with is the argument that a lot of flat earthers give is to easy, like, evidence deniers. It's like, how do you know there's ice wall? What about this? What about that? And it's like, you have to see for yourself. Like, the curvature and, like, different things. It's like, well, you go out, get on the tallest building you can, look out, you can't, like, you can physically do some of these things, but other things you can't physically do. So it's like, the curvature thing, go out and see it for yourself. That's how you're gonna, you just have to believe. It's like faith. It's like whatever. But then other things, it's like, no, you need to back yourself up because I can't go and look and see if there's an actual shadow object. I cannot go to Antarctica.
I can't go to the ice wall.
So, like, that's what Bailey's having trouble with. Because half of their argument is always, go see for yourself, do your own research, be your own detective, do whatever. But then the other part's like, I can't. I don't have the resources to.
I want to fly to the ice wall.
There's a
Can we start a Kickstarter or a GoFundMe?
No, I don't. I like the cold.
I'm not saying you have to go.
There's a
But that's what the penguins are.
I know, I do love penguins. There's a environmental
EPA
show, like on National Geographic or something, that said that they were willing to pay flat earthers to go to the end of the world and, like, see it.
I want to make that show.
And as far as I can tell, no one's picked it up.
Gosh.
But that would be fun.
I do that. I know, like an Amelia Earhart, except we come back, go to the flat earth,
And
go over the ice wall.
Got it. I mean, I don't want to go over it. If I
And
made
go
it there,
up.
I would probably kill myself.
That's like
Like-
an episode of Black Mirror.
Yes. Oh my god, that's coming out on the 20-somethingth. And I told Sam that we needed internet by then because all I want to do is watch Black Mirror. Do you want to know a funny thing I know about the Flat Earth Society?
Yes. Absolutely.
So, a couple weeks ago, the Flat Earth Society tweeted and said that. Now I need to know the exact.
Do you run the Flat Earth Society social media, Laura?
So Logan Paul went to a conference. Logan Paul went to a Flat Earth Society conference and like was photographed and like I don't know if he's spoken out about it or not, but he like was into it in some way, and they tweeted and said, "We do not have any connection with him. We do not support him. We do not affiliate ourselves with them." And in my head, I was like, what fucking simulation do we live in? Where a society believes that or in a society where there's an entity that believes that our Earth is flat, and then there is a YouTuber who is so bad that he can't even be affiliated with this crazy ass community.
Yes.
Like, what the fuck?
That was something that Shane Dawson's brother was talking about, was how Tesla sent in a rocket or like a Tesla to space, and like the live stream glitched out or something. So he was like,
"That's true."
What's his name that runs Tesla?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk believes in the simulation. Maybe that was him, giving us a little peek. And I was like, no, please stop.
No, I loved that, but I'm so into the simulation theory. Like horde.
I know that's not what we're talking about. I kind of want to talk about the simulation more. Because I don't believe in the simulation.
Oh, fuck you.
And I also don't want to.
Oh, fuck you.
Wait, what's the simulation?
How not?
I think it's almost worse if we live in a simulation.
It's the only, way to explain our current situation. That's the only thing giving me comfort.
And not just that people are stupid. I mean, I don't want to take
I don't want to believe that people are this stupid. I want to hope that in some way we're just living in a
just a computer
society.
program.
Yeah.
You'd rather us all be fake than bad.
I would rather everyone... You know that bullshit of, like, I don't know if you've ever heard it, but it's like... like, these stories of, like, I died and I went into this black hole and I heard a voice and it spoke to me and I saw my whole life flash before my eyes and I saw my daughter grow up, or I saw my wife on our first date and I saw our daughter grow up and I saw all of these like important milestones in my life. And then as we were nearing the end, I said, well, what's going to happen to me now? And the voice said, you'll see. And then I woke up and I had all of my thoughts from my previous life, but I woke up as another person, and then eventually they find out that they have to live as every single person in the world, and then they get to die. It's like this whole story. It's like
I've seen a more condensed story like that. Like a man dies, and he wakes up and he's walking around with like God, and he was like, "You were Abraham Lincoln. You were this person.
Yeah.
Like." You've lived all these lives and you're me. Like he ends up like being God.
It's like that big thing of like everyone, it's like, I want to believe that this is not what it is. Like,
but if life was going good right now, would you think we're in a simulation?
Life has gone good, but in the past.
Did you think it was a simulation then?
I've been educated, Bailey. Enlightened. I've been enlightened, Bailey.
All right.
We can't talk about that right now, though. That is
all right.
Too big of a topic.
All right.
But yeah, the Elon Musk thing, to let Molly in. Elon Musk sent a, there was a guy in it, right?
I think it looked like a crash test dummy.
Oh, okay. He sent a rocket just to prove that he could, because he's rich, and...
I think he sent one of his cars with the rocket.
Whatever.
He's
rich.
A Tesla car was attached to the rocket.
He's rich, and he can do whatever the fuck he wants. And he has a lot of engineers working for him. He sent a rocket into space, and it went higher than any, like... He set a bunch of records, and it was, like, a big thing. At the point in time when you should have been able to see, like, the curvature of Earth and the, like... looking back at Earth when he crested the edge of our atmosphere, it glitched so much that, like, it was obvious people saw it, and it didn't come back until we were already in space. So it was, like, different, could have been, like, edited, whatever. And his explanation
Mm-hmm.
was that like technology glitch. But in the video it was like something weird too. Like it wasn't just like a glitch of like the static that you see on TV. It was like a thing. Like it was like another image. And so it was like
What Shane Dawson's brother was saying was that it looked like it was in a studio. Like it was just kind of a black wall with maybe like some pipes or something in there.
Yeah.
And he went on to say that it had been like disproven since then. I was like, well, then why are we talking about it if they sorted the whole thing out?
I don't think they sorted the whole thing out. I just think it was like, oh no, that's not what it was.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so that's weird.
That's wild.
But yeah, so flat Earth is fun. I don't want to live in a flat Earth, but I don't think it would matter. Also, I don't think it would matter because if we've been doing it for this long...
Yeah, we're fine. Like, we're fine.
Yeah, either way.
Yeah.
It'd be great if it was a huge government cover-up, though, because, like, the only
Would
reason...
it be, do you really want to distrust your government more?
Why would they lie to us, though, about not being a flat Earth? Like,
That's
why
what I was
does
about to say. The only reason they would lie is because they know all of us sons of bitches would walk to the end and try to jump. Or, like, somebody would have walked to the end by
They'll
now
kill
and tried to
themselves
jump
if
off.
we tell them.
Like, they're all gonna fucking kill themselves. Like, every time we tell them something, they go and fucking kill them. Like, people gotta go off in barrels on Niagara Falls. Think about what we jumping off of the end of the world.
Like, where's it go?
Where's it go? I'm gonna jump. Let me get me in this barrel and let me just jump off and let me see what happens. And it's like, no, stop. Please don't do that.
His
We
brother
don't need
was
to do
also
this.
saying, like, they've outlawed the illegal drug, or they've outlawed the drugs that open up your mind, and they only keep us on the bad alcohol and distracted by phones and the
Oh my
robots and the... He wasn't talking like a crazy person, but the things he was saying were...
Shane's conspiracy theories were going really into that, like, techno, like, we're merging into this world of, like, we're never going to be able to think for ourselves, and it's all an algorithm, and all of our thoughts are going to be based on an algorithm soon, because, like, so many things in our lives are that we're just going to start embracing and, like, like,
yeah,
whatever. And
his explanation was just like, the government wants power over you or something. And I'm like, I mean, not for us to think that, like, that doesn't make sense.
I mean, I love thinking that our government is just fraudulent in all aspects.
Would you say
And,
that
like,
if Hillary
it's-
got elected?
Probably. Saying this knowing that Obama was elected for 8 years. But, like, there's, like, I get it, going to the moon, if that's fake, will it be awful? Yes, but, like, we were in the space race. We were against Russia. Like, of course we needed to, and we just convenently got the funding.
Laura
and
really
got the
doesn't believe we went to
education
the moon.
and got, like, got all the science backed up. And we just conveniently had the, like, right after they went. Really?
I like the moon theory just because I think it's funny that the theory is they got Stanley Kubrick to do it, and then he made The Shining to confess.
Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? I love that. That was nice. But, like, that would be interesting. Flat Earth doesn't have, like, a base. Besides, like, somebody would try to jump off.
Yeah.
Or, like, exploit the end of the world, or, like...
Yeah.
Like, capitalism would...
That's the thing, if we melt the ice caps, we all gonna start drifting and falling off?
We going.
Yeah, half the ice wall's not melted yet.
Very
exactly.
thick ice.
Nah. Very. Hey, we might be pro ghost. I ain't pro ice wall. And I definitely ain't.
Build that wall.
To be honest, whenever
No
I was
walls between
when I
us
was
and
in
Mexico or
elementary
between
school,
us and space.
I thought
Right.
the Earth rotated on
When did you say? No, how old were you?
in elementary school.
Oh, okay.
I thought the Earth rotated on a pole. So, like, you know how on a globe they had, like, the two poles at the end?
Yeah.
I thought
The
that
North
was,
Pole.
Yeah, I thought that
South
was
Pole.
really how the Earth looked. I thought there were poles at the ends of the Earth.
Well, that's okay. People think that there's ice walls there.
There are some adults who claim to be scientists who think that there is a giant wall of ice. You've seen Game of Thrones?
No.
You know their big ice wall?
They think that that's that around us, around
Big
our little
ol' one.
plate. And the shadow object. I will not endorse the shadow object, although I do love it as like a meme. Like, can we get that going? Can we all know about the shadow object so we can all enjoy it together?
Yes. Do you want to talk about simulation?
Yeah, let's talk about the simulation.
Or do you want to talk about the moon part? Because it's more relevant.
I want to do the simulation. Whenever I heard about the Truman Show, I like heard half of the conversation, so I thought it was like a real life thing that had happened.
Oh no!
And so I was like terrified that was happening to me.
You know, I watched that movie when we lived together, right? Was this before or after this part happened?
This was before. This was like in middle school or high school.
Okay. Now, see, the Truman Show
explain the simulation.
Is different than what I'm thinking of the simulation.
Okay, well, explain your simulation.
I know it's not the same as a simulation. That's just what.
No, I'm saying the Truman Show, I think, would be a little more believable than a simulation, because you'd have to doubt your own mind and everyone around you.
Yeah. So, let's explain the Truman Show real quick.
Okay.
So the Truman Show is a movie that came out, and it's about this guy,
Jim Carrey.
Sure. Who?
It's Jim Carrey.
Thank you. Who is going around this, like, his daily life is whatever, and everybody who he meets and everybody who he interacts with and everything that happens to him is happening because he's actually in a movie.
A television show.
Sorry, a television show. He's he's the actor. He's the main character, and all of the people that he interacts with, everything, are actors that are hired, and they have like things to say, and they have like lines and scripts, and
they're all part of the story
of his life. Yes,
and then there are people outside of his town, which is like big enough to be a biggish town, but he like never leaves, and then the people outside I think he's in a dome or a wall because people watch him from up there. Everyone else is watching like this TV show, and so it's been running like as long as he's been born, I think, or since he was like a young child. So it's like a soap opera or long running television show.
Yeah. And so he finds out, or something happens, there's like a blooper. All right.
Would I remember, there may be something like that, like someone messes up.
I thought he saw something.
He might. I also remember there's a woman, I think, who like starts to feel guilty about it and wants to tell him.
I haven't watched it forever, but I thought he like saw.
I want to say he did like something. There's like an elevator, like, and someone messes up.
Like he it spurred him because he was like, wait, that doesn't add up, and then he started second guessing other things that like that's been kind of weird my whole life. Yeah. And so like that kind of thing of like, am I being watched? Is this staged? What am I to these people? Type of situation, which is different from. Bailey, what's a simulation?
Okay, what I think when people are talking about the simulation is basically like we're all in a game of The Sims. Like, we are all basically a computer game or computer program, and there are some other higher beings observing, controlling, I don't know, like, which one of those it is, if it's both our moves. Twitch, in one of the videos I was watching, they were including the Elon Musk, where he talks about how he believes in the simulation.
Wholeheartedly.
Where he's like, I don't think we're video game characters, but video game characters never do. And I'm like, don't say that, Elon Musk. That's technically true, but I don't like it.
So, same thing, essentially. Like, I was talking to somebody this weekend about it, and it was like, simulation, like, a big game of The Sims, but much more involved, much more, like, what is automated? Like, VR, like virtual reality, much more like what's like Sophia the robot? Autonomous. Much more like autonomous in our own choices, but still based in existing conditions set for us. Like, we live within restraints, conditional restraints. I have different restraints than Bailey has. Bailey has different restraints than other people have. Like, obviously, people can be born with, or like created, whatever, however it happens, with the same restraints.
Spawned.
But as you go, you like level up, like get more XP. You do all these things that like quantify you reaching higher levels of existence. So like,
so I'm unemployed right now because I don't have enough XP. Is that what I need? I need some more XP.
Your sim hates you.
Yeah.
Wants to see you struggle.
Uh-huh.
But something like that, and like Elon Musk was talking about how we're like go back 10 years, go back 20 years. We didn't have technology. Like if you do it on like a cognitive scale, we didn't have shit in early 2000s.
Yeah.
Like thinking about an iPhone, an iPad, virtual reality, Alexa, like the technology that we have and that we're capable of now in our homes as like personal non-scientist type people, civilian scientists or whatever, are capable of was unfathomable in the 90s.
Yeah.
And he's like, why are we stuck in this motion that hasn't evolved so much that this is the video game we're living in now. Like you can do a virtual reality game and we're kind of getting over that. Like, oh, well, that's whatever, a virtual reality video game, whatever. Why are we limiting humans' ability to expand and evolve to that this could not be a video game that we're playing right now?
So does that mean at some point in the next 20, 40 years,
Bless you.
are we going to become self-aware enough that we live in a simulation? Or that we know we live in the simulation?
I don't know what
Can we reach that?
Our simulation is at. He's saying that in some entity around
you're
us.
gesturing, but
like I guess higher being, but I think from what I remember, he was saying that it's humans that evolved, and now they're ruling over. Like there's a kid somewhere who puts us up at night, and like this is his world, or it's like a community world, and so everybody has their own little games, and it's like, but
like everybody has a Truman Show.
Like how are you proving? Like prove to me that that we're not. How do you know?
Prove to me we are.
I mean, I can't, but I liked what he was saying that like we've evolved so much that in 20 years, why couldn't we have video games like this?
Yeah.
Like where we're actively participating in people's lives.
Yeah.
Like The Sims is this. If The Sims was VR, if The Sims was autonomous, if The Sims was like Sophia.
What if that's what happens in the future? Like we get so old that like they put like a helmet on us or whatever, and it transforms us into like a younger person's body, and
I think that's what Ready Player One's about.
To like make us feel younger,
right? And like the simulation kind of makes sense in a bunch of different aspects because like
give me one
glitches in the Matrix, Mandela effect.
Okay, but what's like a real glitch in the Matrix?
So there's been like little things like you can see, like I don't know if they're fake or not, but like there's a lot of things that we don't know if they're fake or not. So like the illusion of ghosts, the like provable like UFO sightings, the like little things too, like in GTA it happens all the time. Sam plays GTA. In GTA it happens all the time where you like all of a sudden you'll see 5 of the same vehicle, exact same vehicle, on the road around you, and it's like you just kind of come to and you're like they're all the same vehicle, you know, and everybody assumes it's just a glitch in the game Matrix. What happens when you see those in real life? Because it happens.
Or when you pass, like, the same car you're driving,
yeah,
another car.
But, like, exactly the same.
Yeah, yeah.
Or, like, people who find their doppelgangers in real life, and it's like, good lord. Or, like, those funny things about, like, what's his name? Nicolas Cage hasn't aged ever.
No,
like,
it's,
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like, there's
Keanu.
Yes,
Keanu Reeves.
There's actors who, like, you can go back into the, like, 1880s and find photos, and it's like, that's Keanu Reeves.
He's just a vampire.
So, yeah, there's things like that, and it's like, is that just a glitch, and something happened, or is it, like, it's kind of one of those things, like, are coincidences real, or is it something different? I love this.
I know you do.
I love
it. And I mean, there's nothing I can tell you to say we're not.
I know.
I just don't like it.
Why don't you like it?
I guess I don't like the idea of being controlled, or that, like, everything around us is fake. Maybe that's what, like, everything around us technically isn't real.
See, I think I've come to terms with
and
that.
we're not real.
Bless you. A long time ago.
Uh-huh.
Because at this point, I don't know what's real.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, that's another thing is, like what I was saying earlier is I'd rather believe that it's all fake than believe that things are happening truly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was a tweet I saw the other day, and it was, like, something sold for a lot of money or something very American. Like, very consumer, very capitalistic happened. And it was, like, I would have just rolled my eyes at it. And then it was like, cut to, we're literally numbering immigrants at the border at this point. And it was the juxtaposition of those two things. And it was like, you have to understand that we're living somewhere that's like, if it's not a simulation, it's just sad. Because we're like, living in this world of like, we're literally hearkening back to Nazi Germany. And like, there are so many things that are happening in our country and in this world that are like, terrible. But we're still thriving in a capitalistic, like, society, and we're, like, upper echelon of people are fighting over the crumbs of bread of the poor. And it's like, do we have a country that runs like this
I think
on its own? Or is it
someone wanted us to be the bad guys
climax
for a while.
of a video game?
I guess for me, I really don't like nihilism, like the idea that nothing matters.
Oh, no,
like,
honestly,
like,
anything doesn't matter.
Well, to me, that's kind of what that feels like. Is like, nothing matters because none of it's real.
Yeah.
I agree.
So, like, I don't want to, like, I'm not really touching this bed. Like, I would like to be really touching this bed.
Was it Elon Musk that was talking about how if you, like, call out the simulation that you'll like what happens when we become so like, what did you say earlier? Self-aware that we like, if we evolve so much as a game that we start becoming self-aware, like what if we're the robots that we all feared?
Well, like that's what we're worried about now is creating robots that are like
but what if we are the robots
that'd be
that
hilarious.
We've like, well,
yeah,
one day we can just like, we're able to see through the sky, it's like actually people there, and then we get like real mad. Y'all seen the Lego movie? It's a good movie.
Sam fell asleep and I had to watch the whole goddamn thing by myself. He wanted to watch it. We got to the point where they sing everything is awesome, and he went to sleep.
The very beginning.
Literally, the very beginning of the movie.
They kind of were a simulation.
It's just a fun theory. They all are. I love a good theory.
I know you do. Yeah.
It's just one of those things. It's like, if you think about where we live, someone fucked up the simulation. Like, I love saying
we're just
that.
That bad. Yes. Yeah, I think they're funny jokes, but Sorry, I didn't mean to. Oh no, that's not what I was reacting to. I don't want to be a video game. I don't think we are, and I don't want to be.
And that's my stance on that.
Any other quick ones we want to wrap up with? Laura, you really want to hit the moon hard?
I'm just saying again, it's very interesting that we have no evidence.
I didn't know that. I was surprised to learn that. That we don't have the videotapes from when we went.
The people that you talk to are very like hush hush and shut door and like secretive. Like, they'll let you in to talk about so many things, and like there's a lot of people that have gone behind the scenes of NASA and like done a lot of like in-depth reviews of like the Mars rover, and like people who shouldn't, but like you're really opening your doors for them. Like, why? And then once you start talking about the moon landing, they're like, oh, no, we can't talk about, we don't need to talk about that. We need to talk about that. And it's like, and why haven't we been back?
You know, you heard Buzz Aldrin speak. What'd he say?
I did.
Is that someone asked?
Very pro that they went to the moon.
As he should be.
But he also is very pro about going to Mars. Like, that's his next big thing. I don't know what he calls it. It's like a pun off Final Frontier. And he was like very into going like his new book and his new research and everything was Mars centric. And so that was interesting. He was a very informative man. And
He's
I
just
believe
a
he
liar.
believes that he went to the moon. No, I really don't believe any of this, but if it ever happened, I would be on board.
I do think, of the, like, 3 we've kind of talked about, I do think that would be the funniest one to learn that we faked.
The moon?
Uh-huh.
See, I just think that's the most realistic.
That we faked. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, like, okay, I see it.
Yeah, I see why.
I get what you guys were doing.
Like, of course we did.
If, like, the Earth's really flat, no, we need to talk about that. If we're in a simulation, we need to talk about that. If we fake the moon landing, like,
The thing is,
we can go there now.
moon
We're
landing,
fine.
let's just break it down like this.
Mhm.
Moon landing, probably going to come out in the next 20, 30 years. Like, either we're going to definitely have gone and it's going to be, like, proven, or opposite. But, like, that's the most provable. Flat Earth. I had a thing. Oh, Flat Earth, we may... Like, I think that's also very provable, and it'll probably come out in the next 20, 30 years, because somebody's gonna get to the point where it's like, we have to shut them up, somebody go to Antarctica. Like,
we gotta go.
Go. Simulation will never prove. Because, like, that's the point.
What, in all this aliens, when do you think we'll find them? Before or after the simulation?
I kind of hope.
Well, here's the thing, if there's a simulation, are there aliens?
That's, like, the,
Are they part of our
It's gonna
simulation?
be a joke. I don't know
Find
enough
it.
about video games.
Find it.
Like the
Mario.
The like add-on video game.
Oh, like the DLC? Downloadable content for all you guys.
Yes.
The extension pack. For the
I really
Sims.
like. It kind of makes me sad because if anybody was gonna tell us that aliens existed, it was gonna be Trump, because he would have fucked up.
Yeah.
And I feel like at this point, if he didn't tell us, there's no hope. Or
Maybe he's
he
just been so
doesn't
distracted.
know.
Yeah. They may have just, like, not told him. Like, maybe
He walked in the first day, he's like, all right, what's with Area 51? And they all went, nothing. What are you...
See, I would think he wouldn't think to ask, and they're
No.
just like, if he doesn't ask, we technically
Not
don't have
gonna
to tell him.
There's a big, like, file in his desk the first day, and he's like, what's this? And I'm like, no, that's
not due to, like, next week.
That's
Let's
the
do this
cleaning
one
lady's
first.
checklist.
Yeah,
Give that back. And
That,
he's
that
like,
wasn't supposed to be in here.
Right. Wow, I hate him.
Is he, like, the main villain in this current level of the simulation? So what happens, if we're a simulation, what happens when we die?
You respawn.
Are you just, okay.
I don't know, Bailey. I've never done it. So far as I know.
Well.
I don't know.
What do you think our game is called?
Earth 2.
Earth 2. Because Earth 1 was just really glitchy and had a lot of bugs.
No, there's
Had
a
to
flat
start
Earth
over.
thing about Earth 1 and Earth 2. I think.
God, I
there's
wonder
a
what our
comics
game
thing
would
about
be
Earth 1 and
called.
Earth 2.
I have no idea.
Huh?
I have no idea.
I don't know, because, like, we don't have to be Earth or humans to the simulation runners. They might speak alien languages.
See, that's the thing. The people running us are aliens.
What if it's called Hell?
I don't know. It's fun to think about. If I think too much into it, it, like, freaks me out.
Yeah,
Mhm.
same.
Because of, like... So these are 3 conspiracy theories that are, like, kind of well-known and a part of meme culture at this point. And so it's kind of always going to be a joke about, haha, what if it's true? I'm going to join the bandwagon because whatever. But in public, it's, like, completely denouncing all of this. And this was all just, like, a satire about what ifs. But, like, what if? Like,
What if?
when you
Hey,
get,
but what if, though?
when you get down to it, it's like, if any one of these, or any of the number of ones that we didn't touch on, like...
Like, oh, y'all forgot about this. You missed this
Well,
one.
like, I mean, 9/11's a big one. Area 51 is a big one. Hallucinogenic drugs is a big one. Like, there's so many... The Bermuda Triangle. Like, there's so many. If any of them are true...
If the Earth is flat, does the Bermuda Triangle still work?
don't work. Does a triangle in a sphere any indicate? Anyway. But yeah, like, if any of them are true, it's just like...
Mm-hmm.
Meh. It, like, crumbles the...
Mm-hmm. The foundations of society.
Yes. The pillars of society that hold up this flat earth.
Now, hey, there's an idea.
Maybe it's two planes
Yes.
held up by pillars.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes, right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Atlas is
Has
there.
anybody
He's
ever
real.
asked how we haven't dug through the flat earth yet?
Because we think the core's there.
But how thick are we?
I don't know. I didn't see that in my research.
Because, like, the ocean goes down.
The ocean,
like, miles
the
and miles
ocean
and
does go
miles.
down.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
that's true.
So, like, if we're that thick,
and this is why you can't dig to China. Not because the mantle's in the way.
but because the
'Cause
space is in the
the
way.
space is in the- Do we have a mantle if we're flat? Like, is that part of our thickness?
That's, I mean, it has to be because...
Volcanoes exist.
Don't...
What about plate tectonics, y'all? If the Earth is flat, do we have plate tectonics?
That actually makes more sense to me because it never. When I think of plate tectonics, I think of round spheres, and I don't understand how round plates can be in a sphere. That doesn't sound right to me.
They're not spherical.
I didn't mean to say the plates were spherical. I meant like
Okay.
just like round.
Oh, no, they're like weird shapes.
Oh, okay.
And curved. Or flat. I don't know. We don't know anymore.
I think we just disproved flat earth. I'm sad about it.
Because of plate tectonics?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Molly's right. I think plate tectonics kind of holds up with flat earth.
Well, that's what, like...
I guess,
So-
I don't know. Would they fall? Could they shift off? What's holding the plate tectonics together?
The ice.
Is it the
man.
magnet? The ice?
Oh, the magnets.
the ice.
Magnets.
And the
A
magnet.
good thing.
I hope our listener who asked isn't
I think she hates us. at
super
this
flat
point.
earth. Yeah. Sorry if we made you feel bad. We just don't.
No, I think either way she hates us.
But
Yeah, I think
Like-
she just hates the way we handled this, like the
Like-
directions we went in with this. She probably
We
does
could
not
have said
appreciate it.
any other things.
I don't know. Like what? I think we did good. I got to talk about the shadow object
That's all you want.
and bring up the ice wall, which really covered my bases.
I mean, I hope she's not a hard and fast flat earther.
Mhm.
But if she is, text me. We could talk.
Mhm.
So.
I'm watching my cat try to figure out how to drink out of the toilet.
Okay, it's
My
time for you
cat
to end
does
this
that.
Okay, y'all's cats need to be using the toilet, not drinking
That's
out
what
of
I'm
it.
telling Sam. Is I think
No.
at this point she's showing us I would love to shit here, and I would love for her to shit here, there, everywhere, not everywhere.
Not everywhere. They already did that.
I know, but it wasn't their fault. They had the ghee bottles.
I know. Molly, take us out of here.
Sweet. Alrighty. Thanks for listening to our crazy conspiracy theory ideas. And tune in next week because hopefully we will talk about dating apps because I really want to talk about that. You can find us on any of your local listening sites, which is iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Like our dear friend, is it Meegs? Is that what we're saying? Meegs or Megs?
Meegs.
Meegs.
It was
B.
Meegs B.
B. She left us a wonderful comment under our YouTube video. So we greatly appreciate that. We love topic ideas, so please comment on any of our stuff and give us suggestions. If you don't want to comment, you can email us at ourthreecentspod. Yeah, is that right?
Is our email?
Yeah, as our email.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Or you can tweet us at our3centspod. Shout out to Kevin MacLeod for our intro music. Digital Lemonade. I think I covered everything. I am Molly.
I'm Bailey.
I'm Laura.
Bye.
Bye.